There are teams, almost armies, that are being assigned for this disclosure. And we would like to tell you that this is happening somewhere between 2026 to 2027. So the souls that are leaving this planet Earth at this moment in time, indeed, they're going to return back, and they're going to return back sooner. And the reason for this fluctuation is because it is coming out of a camouflage. It was hidden for a long time. It was not disturbed for a long time. So a lot of other galaxies are trying to connect, contact. The way that Earth as a space, as a planet has been designed is phenomenal. And that is the reason why a lot of souls want to enter and have an experience of their own. That is why a lot of intergalactic beings are taking birth here. Because in the last year, I worked on mastering manifestation, which is 4D, which is co-creating your reality. And in this year, the records have revealed that it is now time for me to step into the 5th dimensional consciousness. And with the Arcturus being there, usually I feel in the 12th dimension consciousness. So while all of that is there, I always have this sense of inner knowing that my direct connection has to be source. Right. So light language is understood by the soul at the cellular level as well, and at the DNA level as well. So when you start speaking the light language, something shifts within you. You start to remember.
There is a lot of chaos still happening on Earth in terms of wars, fatalities, and natural disasters. And through all of that, still there are people who are awakening. So, can you tell us what exactly is expected in 2025 onwards till 2032? Hi, this is Akanksha. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. If you resonate with me, please like, comment, and share. Welcome to Multidimensional Soul podcast and a talk show. This is part 2 of a 2-part conversation. If you have not watched part 1, then we highly recommend that you watch that. The link for that is provided in the video description. We have with us today Ashmeeta, who is an Akashic reader, healer, a channeler, a fashion brand owner, a truly multidimensional personality, multidimensional soul. So, welcome, Ashmeeta, on Multidimensional Soul Talk Show and a podcast. It's lovely to have you here.
Here as well, I can feel the energies here, and it's something is happening. I can feel it, and I think we're going to discover more about that soon.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. So this episode is special because we are both Akashic channelers and we both have opened Akashic records. So we are doing live transmission for all of you here. When you talked about Akashic records and you talked about choosing the highest vibrational timeline or higher consciousness by looking at the records. So how can people do that?
To be able to step into your highest timeline, you must be ready to then detach a lot from so many things, so many ways of viewing the world. So, to be able to align to your highest timeline, firstly, you need to know what that higher timeline is, what that highest timeline is for you. Where do you want to move to? How does it look like? How does it feel like to you to be in that highest timeline? What is it filled with? Usually, it is filled with love, abundance, support, infinite support from the universe. And this is the path of your purpose, what you came here to do, your dharma, which means you should be ready to clear a lot of your karma. You should be ready to go through that cycle almost at an advanced speed, at an accelerated pace. So it's like you're driving in a car nicely on your journey here on earth, and you've pressed the accelerator so that you can step into the highest path. So that's what we're doing. We're pushing the accelerator. When we do that, a lot of lessons come at a very fast speed for us. And then we learn them, we evolve through them, and we step into a greater space. So, readiness is needed. The soul readiness is needed to come out of it, because then you have to slowly detach from a lot of things you were once attached to. A lot of things that once worked for you will no longer work for you. The way your life looked before will no longer look the same. So releasing a lot of self sabotage, a lot of coming in your own way, that has to happen in order for you to step into your highest purpose, why you came here, or what you came here for. Because um, oftentimes there is so much that we can, step into, so much potential, but we delay it ourselves. Why do we delay it? Because we're like, this is too much at once. So the soul might be ready, but the body might not be ready, or the mind might not be ready, or the somewhere in the heart, the inner child might not be ready. So everything needs to come into alignment for us to step into that timeline. So a lot of conscious work is definitely required for us to be able to detach, let go, and then step into our highest destiny.
We talked about simulation, and what I understand from some of my guests is that as we are moving into 5D Earth, the simulation itself is going to end. And no longer are we going to go through any karmic cycles. The entire Yuga cycle is going to end, and the whole game itself, the matrix itself, is going to end. It's not going to be what it is right now. Everybody is going to ascend. So there are two different viewpoints about this. That one is that everyone is going to ascend, and this whole thing is going to end, the simulation. And there is another viewpoint that those who have chosen to ascend will ascend to 5D, and there'll be a split. Those who have chosen not to ascend as a conscious soul choice will not ascend, and they will continue coming back to Earth. From Akashic records perspective, and because you are also a starseed, so from intergalactic perspective, what is your understanding about all of this?
So I have read about the new earth and how everyone's ascending and how this is the golden age. And what I've really understood from this is one thing, that yes, collectively a lot might be happening, but there is so much that we don't know. And if we go to make sense of it and we get trapped into a narrative and attached to a narrative, then it again becomes very blinding. It can become blinding when we are attached to the narrative. So can we look at it from a detached perspective and be like, okay, this might be happening, and definitely there is a wave of awakening that is not a coincidence. Like the rate at which people are awakening now is definitely not a coincidence. It is definitely a higher power, a higher energy looking at it, and they have a um, they have a fair understanding. For me, as far as my purpose is concerned, it up until now it can change and evolve, but up until now it has not been about understanding what is happening more at the collective level in terms of the awakening. For me, it has been to bring the change at the micro level, so automatically it is reflected at the macro level. So they've not yet communicated their visions of what is expected to happen at the macro level to me personally. But what I'm focused on is to bring the change at the micro level, is to bring the change and shift within me. And through bringing that change and shift within me, I'll be able to help evolve a lot of people around as a result of that. And what I see, the vision that I see is that as I rise, the whole grid around me, um, like the vision that they showed me was that as I'm rising, there's a whole connectedness around me that is also rising with me. So I feel that's what I am focused on personally. And apart from that, I have tried to enter various narratives and understand what's happening. with the golden age coming, with the new earth coming. And I do believe earth is changing. What's going to happen after this and beyond this is something that I do not want to comprehend, because I don't want to get attached to the narrative. Focus is only on personal awakening. And through that awakening, automatically I become privileged enough to give and serve and then to serve. So it is just about service from the level that I am, and that's it. So that's my view about this.
Okay, yeah, no, I have a different, as in, because I have talked to so many and I have also received guidance, and definitely we are ascending. And that is why there is so much of rapid awakening that is happening across the world, and we are going to go into higher dimension. Some of us are already more than fifth dimension, the light workers especially, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Some of us are already working in that dimension along with the intergalactic beings for the collective awakening. You talked about making a difference at the individual level, and essentially, when we talk about individual level, and we also discussed about choosing the highest vibration timeline, making suffering as a choice, learning the lessons. How do you think that light language and sound, because everything is a vibration, so light and sound, how do they help people in working with this matrix, the simulation, and then rising above it?
Well, light language is powerful. Why? Because it instantly wakes you up and helps you remember. Because we're so used to like speaking in normal language, right? So light language is understood by the soul at the cellular level as well, and at the DNA level as well. So when you start speaking the light language, something shifts within you. You start to remember. And that's how you start to come out of the matrix, or what we have perceived to be this world. I mean, it's amazing how people just continue to live on earth without asking any questions. I am like stunned by this. I was when I was young. I'm like, how can you not question it? How can you not question it, guys? Why are you here? Like, what's really happening? And the light language instantly brings you out of that. Because let's say I'm just speaking to you in English and you're understanding me. But when I stream through the light language, like, Hakaya Sokoe Shikaya Sikaya Shoko Siye Sha, what happens? Either you get scared, or you start to feel the energies, or there is a transmission that happens that brings in some shift in your body. So that's how it leads you to wake up that, the language that you've been taught is not the only language. There is something like frequencies that shift and change something within you, right? So for me, it has been about that. And you also mentioned about the 5D and, the other levels. So light language can be tapped in through various dimensions as well. So what I personally work with is directly the source energy and the angelic realm. So for me, it has been about not working with specific dimensions per se. And I am, as far as I understand from my soul journey, moving towards the 5D this year. So this year is where I am evolving in the fifth dimensional consciousness. Um, because in the last year, I worked on mastering manifestation, which is 4D, which is co creating your reality. And in this year, the records have revealed that it is now time for me to step into the fifth dimensional consciousness. And with the Arcturus being there, usually I feel in the 12th dimension consciousness. So while all of that is there, I always have this sense of inner knowing that my direct connection has to be source. It has to be the angels. And so they had given me this very early on, and that is where I naturally formed that connection. So no matter how much I love the star seeds and I love where I've come from, I ultimately want to just go back there. And I feel that directly channeling the source frequencies and the angelic frequencies is where I let the bus stop at. Because even though there exists a lot of dimensions, none of that has magnetized me as much as working with the angelic frequencies and the source frequencies have had. And also, it has, I think, something to do with the religion that I've been brought into somewhat as well, which talks about oneness, which is a Sikh religion. So, and having that connect with, again, the source consciousness, I just straight away go back there. I also work with Goddess Kuan Yin, and with her, with working with her, I've learned a lot about releasing energies, entities, and lost souls. And I feel when I was in the space of the warrior, I would do that a lot, like releasing a lot of souls from this planet Earth and sending them to light. And there was a time that came when I realized that it's time to like ascend from that and then move into a space of conscious creation rather than being on the front line. And then now it is about raising the collective consciousness through my purpose and through love and compassion.
When you channel Kuan Yin or other beings, do you trans channel or are you a conscious channel?
I am a conscious channel. I'm able to remember what I'm speaking. There are times that I end up trans channeling, and that is something that happens in a way that I cannot comprehend myself.
Okay.
Um, so that's the time I don't remember what has come through, and I don't remember the downloads that have flown through, but mostly I remember. Mostly I remember what is coming through me, but the way that I feel. So I would say that I'm both a trans channel and a conscious channel. Totally depends on where you find me at and what's needed for the situation.
Would you be open to do live channeling right now if I, because you mentioned that you are working more at the individual level, maybe we can ask some questions for the collective, for the audience, to whoever comes through, whether it's the source or Kuan Yin or Arcturian Council, whoever comes through. Are you okay to take those questions?
We are a group of light beings who have been working with this medium.
Okay, thank you for being here and thank you for your guidance. There is a collective ascension happening right now on Earth, and 2025 especially is very important from that perspective, and it will go on till 2032 is what I understand. There is a lot of chaos still happening on Earth in terms of wars, fatalities, and natural disasters. And through all of that, still there are people who are awakening. So, can you tell us what exactly is expected in 2025 onwards till 2032?
There is a lot that this planet is going through right now. It's almost shaken up in various different directions. This is a divine shake-up. And this shaking up is happening because there are certain souls who are meant to rapidly return back and are choosing to awaken in a way that they are re-entering, revitalized, re-entering the planet Earth. So they can now choose to awaken in situations and circumstances and vibrations that are much more aligned for their awakening. So the souls that are leaving this planet Earth at this moment in time, indeed, they're going to return back, and they're going to return back sooner than you could have comprehended or imagined, because they're now going to choose wounds, they're now going to choose parents and contracts, which can help them wake up at a much more faster pace. So this divine shakeup is happening for a collective awakening at a larger and a greater level, because it is time for a lot of souls to now come out of the space where things were hidden, where Earth was hidden. It is now coming into a space of collective awakening. And as this happens, as Earth comes out of the camouflage and it realizes the space, the planet realizes collectively what is really happening. The ones who are already here, awakening rapidly, they're meant to hold space. They're meant to be also providing a lot of space for the new souls to come through. Wombs are being prepared. So when these souls who've left this planet, they come back and return, they can move into a space of rapid awakening. So the soul clearing is happening for that particular reason. That is why you may see a lot of disasters that washes away a lot of souls. You may see incidents related to fire accidents. You may see wars. So a lot of these aspects and situations are taking place because all of it is leading to a higher recalibration. And this is also giving them a chance, almost like an opportunity, to now return back more consciously. So that is the shakeup that is currently taking place on this planet Earth.
Thank you. Why is planet Earth so important in the entire intergalactic dynamics?
From where we are, we see planet Earth as a very vibrant place. While there are other dimensions, other galaxies, this place particularly is important. We would like to also let you know that what you may consider as important is again a divine play. So, while every aspect and every place in this universe is, we would say, equally important, currently there is a lot of vibrancy, lot of up and down of frequencies that are taking place here on Earth, lot of fluctuation of energies. And the reason for this fluctuation is because it is coming out of a camouflage. It was hidden for a long time. It was not disturbed for a long time. And now it is finally seen. So a lot of other galaxies are trying to connect, contact, retrieve information, and also bring through certain dynamics. You may also want to know that this space here on Earth is a very interesting place. Why? Because of the experience that it offers. Souls are raring to come here. They are excited to come here. They choose to come here for a reason. And because there is so much to learn here, the way it has been designed, the way that Earth as a space, as a planet has been designed is phenomenal. And that is the reason why a lot of souls want to enter and have an experience of their own, which is why you may see this as an important place to be, because it is very vibrant, very fluctuating. This fluctuation of energy and also the opportunity to awaken is rare. And as it is coming out of the camouflage, and you all are seeing things for what they are, this is an exciting time to be here on Earth as well. That is why a lot of intergalactic beings are taking birth here because they wanted to have this experience. It is exciting for any planet when it comes out of the camouflage to have this experience of collective awakening, which is why that space becomes almost like a hub where greater experiences are gathered. Because it is when you are allowed to, almost as souls, allowed to have varied different experiences rather than just an unconscious experience of going and coming and going and coming. So you're able to have much more free will because as you become conscious, your free will expands, the usage of your free will expands. And so with that comes you being able to choose varied experiences and create whatever it is that you desire. And then which planet becomes the hub of that creation? The planet that is recently awakening, that is coming out of the camouflage. Because here the souls realize that they can suddenly start using their free will much more. And they just don't have to be a part of a place where they just constantly go through cycles without much realization of why these cycles exist. So, free will is the part, is the reason why this earth is currently so vibrant.
I understand that there is going to be a big disclosure of intergalactic families, the light beings from other solar systems, other star systems during the next year. And they are already actively helping Earth's ascension. But from next year onwards, we will be able to see them, like see them and work with them. When is this disclosure expected? Who all are going to come here and help the Earth?
Currently, the seventh dimension is working closely with Earth. And this often happens as the planet is coming out of the camouflage and it is coming into a space of awakening. And as the seventh dimensional beings are working, they are aligned to work directly with this planet. They're aligned to give the instructions and the blueprints for how it is happening, how it is supposed to happen. They are working directly with the beings on Earth to be able to bring it out of the camouflage, to be able to have this disclosure, this planetary revealing of sorts. There are teams being assigned for the same. There are teams, almost armies, that are being assigned for this disclosure. And we would like to tell you that this is happening somewhere between 2026 to 2027. And as this happens and as this takes place, a lot of beings, more beings are going to be magnetized almost towards the collective awakening. And yes, there are still going to be those who are not in that space, and that is okay. However, this is coming from a deeper choice, a deeper choice made by these souls. And this is also the choice that keeps them in a space of experimentation, the grand experiment that is taking place. The souls who choose to stay, they're not the ones who are the unlucky ones or the ones who are choosing themselves to suffer more and more, but these are the ones who've chosen to continue the experiment. And there is a higher purpose to that as well. And there is a higher purpose to the ones who leave this planet Earth as well. Both serve the higher purpose.
When we are awakening,
we remember our true self, we realize our true self, and that's how we ascend. What is the best way for soul remembrance? How do we remember that, okay, we came from this star system, these many lifetimes, and this is where originally we, of course, everybody originates from the source, but this is where we came from, this dimension, this star system, and this is our true nature. So, how do we remember these things?
Remembrance is a funny thing. From where we see, it is very natural to remember. It is not something that requires an effort. It is very natural of the soul to remember its origin, to remember its purpose, and to remember why it is here, and to remember the journey that it has taken on. So, the more you align with the natural states, which means ease, flow, the more you align to the frequency of love, your natural state, what is it? It is the frequency of flow, ease, love, peace, compassion. That's natural. That is where you come from. That is where you originate from. In the natural space, you just are. So, the more you align to who you naturally are, the more you begin to remember it. So, our guidance would be for you all to remember to tune into that natural state of ease. Ask yourself, what does ease mean for you? What does flow mean for you? What does it look like for you to be at ease? How could you be more at ease? The more you are at ease, the more free you will be of disease, dis-ease. And the more free you are of dis-ease, the more healed and whole you become. And the more healed and whole you allow yourself to be, the more you remember who you really are. So, with that, we would like to tell you that it is you being more of you, the being that you are at ease. Ask yourself, what is ease for me? What am I doing when things are coming easily to me? When everything I desire is coming to me with ease, how does my life look like? What would I like to bring through on this planet with ease? What experience would I like to create here with ease? The path of least resistance. The more you take on that path, the more you start to remember, because the planet is programmed to be at dis-ease. It is programmed to be a space of struggle, a space of pain, duality. It is not programmed to be a space of ease, though it offers you experiences of ease. But very naturally, your mind goes towards what is uneasy within you. Just take a moment and tune into your body. When you tune into your body, you would find that one place in your body which is not at ease, because the mind first goes there. That's how it is programmed. How about you shift your focus now and see all the places in your body that are at ease, and allow that ease to expand. As you allow that ease to expand within you, and you choose more of that ease, the parts of your body that are in a space of dis-ease will also start aligning. So the dis-ease is something that is created for you to experience on earth, but it is not the truth. It is an illusion. So the more you come out of this illusion of survival, struggle, suffering, and the more you choose ease, love, compassion, the more you start to remember who you really are.
When we come on Earth, as you rightly said, that this is a planet of duality and polarity, and we come here to experience all of that. And when we go through the cycles of karma and reincarnations, we kind of lose parts of our souls in different timelines and in different dimensions. And that is also one of the reasons that we don't feel whole. How do we retrieve those parts of us? How do we claim them back?
Oh, there are so many parts of your soul in so many different dimensions and places and timelines. What you might seem as a light body is a very complex structure. So there are a lot of fragments at various places, and that is okay, because the way that this works, the way that incarnation and reincarnation works, is a complex light system. So the way to retrieve your parts and become whole once again is to, first of all, recognize its complexity and recognize its intelligence as well. So while you may have left behind certain fragments of your soul due to trauma, due to impact, you must also know that they are intelligent. Seemingly, they might seem as stuck parts, but they are very intelligent and communicative, as well as connected. So when you reconnect to your heart space, you can communicate with these fragments of your soul. And with this communication, whether it takes place verbally or telepathically, you can invite these fragments to return back to you. You may just want to open up and ask, where, in what timeline are the parts of my soul fragments stuck that are ready to return back to me? Or what part of my soul fragments need healing now? You will be surprised to know that these are very intelligent systems, and they will communicate back to you, and you can retrieve them in such ways. This is very common knowledge from where we are, because we send parts of our soul to various aspects and timelines as well, parts of our consciousness, we would say, instead. And then we retrieve it back. And then we again send, and then we retrieve it back. So this is very common knowledge from where we are from, because we recognize that these are intelligence systems.
Thank you so much. What's your message for our audience today?
Well, like this medium said, and very beautifully, we would like to reiterate that as you bring shifts at the individual level, collectively, shifts will happen. So first, move within you, within yourself, and bring in those tiny shifts of consciousness. Allow your soul to awaken to the possibility of healing, love, and abundance. Allow your soul to have that hope not from anything external, but from an internal connection with the source. That hope is the connection with the source, that you are protected and loved at all timelines, at all spaces, no matter what. When you build that deeper connection with the source itself, you illuminate yourself. And then what matters is that you are illuminated. What matters is that you're shining your light. And as you begin to shine your light, everything else just aligns to it. And nothing else matters. So, from that space, we would like to invite you to really tune into your heart space now and literally formulate that connection with the source. See yourself connecting to the source energy, to the source frequency, a beautiful golden cord connecting from your heart to the source light. And it is this connection with which we come through with love, with light. It is with this connection that we exist, we just are. And there is a lot of gratitude for that. And that is what we have to say about this.
Thank you so much. Gratitude. Thank you so much for being here with us through Ashmeeta and guiding us, all of us here. Thank you. It was beautiful. I have a few questions which I ask all my guests towards the end. So can I ask you those? If you were to explain multidimensional soul to someone, how would you explain it?
A multi-dimensional soul, I feel, is the one that is like operating at multiple levels and multiple dimensions. Also, they're not, uh, they don't get stuck to one thing. They cannot do one thing, even on Earth as work, even what they choose in terms of their purpose and contracts. Like, for example, I do Akashic records, I do channeling, I do angel work with angels. I love crystal jewelry. I have my fashion brand. Then I'm starting another brand called Inside Out. I want to do my own makeover show. I would say that like I'm in multiple places. So this is what I feel is a multi-dimensional soul, multiple places at one time. And yeah, just enjoying their lives in different dimensions, timelines, places, spaces, all of that.
What is holistic well-being according to you?
Holistic well-being is whatever is needed by the soul, giving the soul that, like whatever is needed. It's not about being rigid, that I have to give it in this particular way, or I just have to, let's say, take care of myself in this particular way. I'm open to receiving whatever comes through, whatever is needed for my soul, and giving it exactly that. So, communicating with the soul, with the body, with the mind, with the heart, and just like sitting with the entire team, your mind, body, heart, and having a communication and seeing what's needed.
What is the ultimate purpose of life according to you?
I don't know. And there are some things it's okay to not know what like our ultimate purpose is, and but from what I've understood is that we're here to experience, like the source is experiencing itself through us, and we are creating these different experiences for the soul, for the source to experience itself. So we are creator beings, and our job is to like just create the most funnest and the most expansive experience for the soul source to experience itself through us.
What is love?
That's so interesting. I was asking my partner the other day, last night, in fact, like, what do you feel is love? And he said, love is kindness. Love is, what else did he say? Love is respect. Yeah, that's what love is kindness. Love is respect. So I asked him, but kindness is kindness. What is love? So there is like no way to, I feel, describe love. It is a feeling. It is something that you feel deep within your heart. And I told him, I feel love is when you wish the other person success, abundance, and prosperity, and all the good things and connection with the source. When you don't see your own agenda, and you're able to selflessly wish someone well. So we came to that conclusion that that is love.
Okay. What is self-love?
Again, like what love is, like selflessly giving to yourself without having any agendas, giving to yourself.
And what's your parting message for our audience today?
I guess it was really lovely being here. I'm so happy and glad to have, have met you. I didn't even know that we lived in the same city.
Yeah.
I just happened to message you because I really loved one of your podcasts and it really changed things for me. I feel you're doing amazing work, really good work, and it's really helping a lot of people wake up, because the podcast that I saw of yours, it really changed my perspective and helped me dive so deep into especially what happens after we die and that experience. And I really loved that. And there are not a lot of people doing this, especially here in this country. So our country really needs you. And it is really, we're really happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And how can people connect with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram. I have a page called Ashmeeta Activates. You can follow me there. And I also have a store called inspirit.store. That's also there on Instagram. You'll find the link on my profile itself. So that's where you can get in touch with me.
Awesome. We'll provide all the links in the video description. It has been such a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching and listening in wherever you are in the world. As Ramdas says, that we all are just walking each other home. So thank you for co-creating the new earth along with me and our guests. And if you resonate with me, do subscribe to my channel and do let us know how you find our episodes. Thank you so much. Lots of love.